Okay, this is my DIY solar generator that I built here. It is on a Milwaukee two-handled hand truck. I like the two handles because it can go over rough terrain a lot better than a single handle. Single handle ones they tip over, and the double handles you can handle them across some rougher terrain. Does have little fenders on the cart so you don't get anything tangled up in the wheels all that easy. I did mount this solar generator. This is a piece of 1/2-inch Baltic birch plywood, and the thing with Baltic birch plywood, it has like 7 to 9 plies, so it's meant for furniture, so it's very sturdy. And I mounted this the plywood on the back of the cart here. I used 3/4-inch split ring hangers, 2 there, and then I have 2 more there. I did put these above this brace so that if these ever loosened up, it can't slide down at all. So this is a Growatt 3000 watt 24 volt inverter, and I do have it's my breaker box here. So when I ran the power underneath here, I did run the power. I extended out the back of this on some 2x4s so I could run this conduit behind the Growatt, plus keep the cooler, because they say don't mount it right on wood, so this was a happy compromise. And I came into the top of my 20 amp GFCI breaker, and that feeds these 4 outlets. They're all rated for 20 amps. Here I have an outlet. This outlet right here has just a standard USB plug, and can charge up most of your cell phones or any small tablets or anything. This particular outlet here, this one is called, it's a type C USB, and this is a power delivery outlet. This outlet can charge a laptop. These can't charge a laptop, but this power delivery outlet can charge a laptop or a bigger appliance. Now, when I put these in, I did put I bought some aluminum exterior boxes. They're cast aluminum, and I did get an extension that makes it stick out a little bit more. And you don't necessarily need it for this outlet, but you need it for these outlets because these are really big outlets, and I think I would have had trouble getting the wire in if I hadn't done that. Okay. Now, this is my solar connection right there. This is my battery connection. It's an Anderson plug. Can easily pull to unplug. Works great. This is my utility. I can plug into utility, charge the battery if I need to, or just run the system on utility. Now my battery is in here. So here's my battery, and my battery, this is a Fortune battery, 3.2 volt cells. There's 8 of them, so it's a 24 volt battery. I put it all inside some beekeeping boxes. This is called a 5-frame nuke box. That's what this is called. And I realize it's tight, and I realize it could heat up, so I know that. We're going to see how this works. It's going in an ice fishing house, so it's not going to heat up that much. It needs a heat. So some beekeeping jargon, if a person was interested in this, this is called, this is called a bottom board. This is a 5-frame Nuke deep box, 9 5/8 deep. This is a actually I cut it off, and the standard size for a medium super, that's a jargon. Medium super is 6 5/8 tall, and so I used this just because it was easy to use. These are relatively inexpensive, heavy duty. The battery does weigh it quite a bit. I'm sure it weighs 60 pounds here, and I do have some lift here markers on here, so we can lift by the cleat here, not by the handhold, because I don't have that many screws in the top box, but I have a lot in the bottom, so that should work pretty good. So if we look inside my battery here, let's see, so the BMS is down there. It's mounted on some brackets and a piece of a quick zip tie is holding it. I do have it all bundled up, so I got all the wires nice and bundled through here. This is for the BMS, this is the Bluetooth module. Have that just taped down with some Captain tape. It does have 2 temperature sensors. I have one in between this battery down here. I snake it between there, and then the other one I have on the end of the battery there, because the leads are only so long. So the BMS comes out, from the white negative comes out through the BMS. That is an Overkill Solar 100 amp hour BMS 8S. It is, and it comes up, and I have a negative bar here, just to put everything so I have enough. I don't stack too many on top of one another. So it's the 2 blacks off of the BMS. Those are number 8 wires, and then I have my number 2 main negative right here, and that main negative just wraps around and then goes to our Anderson connector. And then I have my main positive right here, and that just wraps around. I go through a 200 amp fuse, and I did put another breaker, 80 amp breaker, for safety. I did make a little bus bar here just because I couldn't make that corner with it was tight on the height and everything, so there's a little bit of a little 1/4 inch copper, solid copper bar that I just drilled holes in and fit perfect. So go through our breaker, and then the wire runs around. I have extra wire here, so it's pretty mobile. So then we go to our Anderson plug, and we're going to plug it into there. But before we plug it into there, we are going to get our, we're going to have a resistor, because we don't want to just throw these things together on a 3,000 watt inverter on these bigger inverters. So I have this resistor, 25 watts, 30 ohm resistor, that I was just going to touch between the electrical connections on the Anderson plug, so I can charge the capacitors up on the Growatt, so I don't have a big arc when I put these things together. So I'm going to do that next. Okay, so I did that with the resistor, so I can't show it, don't have enough hands. So here's my Anderson connector going together. No big spark, that's good. Perfect. That our mounting didn't budge at all. So then I have if this thing ever had to get disconnected in a hurry, I got this nice handle there. I can just pull that apart, insulated, so I'm not going to get shocked or anything. So that should work good. So I think we're going to look everything over real quick. Then I'm going to come back. We're going to turn this thing on. Hey, so turned it on. Just went through the parameters, make sure I went through some default and everything. And I did plug in utility. is plugged in right here. And here is the readings of it. You can see the electrical power line. So we are charging the battery right there with utility. And so I've turned the breaker on, and I do have power to these outlets now. There's a heat gun. It is drawing electricity. Seems to be working fine. Okay, these are my solar panels that I have for my little solar generator. They are 4 REC 310 watt panels. Got them off Craigslist, 120 bucks, couldn't pass it up. And now I constructed this on a pallet using a unistrut for mounting everything. I did cut a short piece of unistrut. Now this is a hinge that I have to get this oddball angle, and this part goes underneath this. I bought this coupling, this bracket here, unistrut coupling here, and then that just helps reinforce the whole thing, makes it really solid. And the pallets I got for nothing, so if they rot out, I'll just get new pallets. I do have the unistrut 4-hole foot, 1 5/8 foot. Those can be expensive. I got them at Menards. They were only 15 bucks at Menards, our local hardware, or big box store, I should say. I've seen these anywhere to $60 on the internet, so you gotta shop. So this is 1 5/8 unistrut. I did have here. I added this hinge again for the oddball angle. Our latitude here for proper solar angle on a fixed system, it's about 37 degrees, and that's what these are set at, 37 degrees. I did put some extra support here. They're not perfect because of the oddball angle, but everything's snugged up and tight, and this just helps support these risers so that the weight doesn't push them back over. And I do have here's my wiring, what you can do with wiring, but then I interconnected the two arrays with a piece of strut across. I had some shorter pieces left over, so that was a good raceway to run my solar cables over. And so this is the same way, wiring. Now the unistrut, everything on each pallet, I have about 350 bucks. That includes the hardware and the solar panels tied up into each one of these pallets. So 700 bucks for 4 solar panels and all the mounting hardware and everything I got. Now I did put in inline fuses here. The solar panels are 2 of them, 2 panels in parallel. 2 panels in parallel, and then the 2 array, I'm sorry, that's wrong. 2 panels in series, each one 2 panels in series, and then the 2 arrays are in parallel. So here I have 2 20 amp inline fuses, and they're tied together for parallel, and then just single lines going in. Okay, I've got my solar panels plugged in, and coming into from the solar panels, I got about 6 amps, 6.5 amps or so DC. I go to my battery. That's just saying 1 amp. And there you can see the light is on my BMS Bluetooth module. So if we look at my Bluetooth information off of my BMS on my cell phone. It says I'm charging 3.7 volts and it's charging. Battery's at 76%, 27.9 volts. And you can see all the cells are pretty close to being in balance. And this is an overkill solar BMS, what that is. 100 amp, 8S. And I am charging my phone, have it plugged into the USB, got my phone going right there, and I have the obligatory heat gun, and we'll see how that reacts with our BMS. Okay, we're discharging about almost 12 amps. Power's going up, 300 watts. Okay, and you can see it shuts right off. Okay, I've been running this 1500 watt heater. It's on max for 2 hours. And solar panels are connected. We have been getting solar all afternoon. Prime solar, it's 4 p.m. now, so it's getting a little less, but the solar panels are going right to the load. They are not charging the battery, and the battery also is going right to the load. That's what's assisting the heater to stay use as least amount of battery as we can. So in 2 hours, we're at 45% of the battery, so we use 55% of the 100 amp hour 24 volt battery. And you can see the temperature of the battery. It was 68 degrees when we started, and now they have gone up slightly to 73 degrees on the battery sensor. So the solar panels are assisting. So this has been a long time for this big of a load to operate, and we are having a discharge of about 45 amps. So very pleased at the production here. Okay, it's dark out. I don't have any more solar, and my battery was still needed to be charged up. I wanted to charge it up a little bit, and if we look at this screen here, you can see the power pole there, and the battery is being charged. The battery is being charged right there, and then the load, which is over here, is I have a load on. This heater's on, 1500 watt heater. That's also, so the power pole there is, like I say, charging the battery and running part of the load. So if we look at the BMS here, you can see on the left, right by my thumb here, that it's showing that it's charging. If this is gonna, I don't know if that's gonna come through or not on the video. They get funky sometimes, but this arrow here is charging. So we're at 68 volts right now, and we're charging with the utility. So now if we unplug this heater, turn it off, now the load is gone, and this BMS takes a second to, so the thing with it, so we're plugged into utility, or just the wall over there, 120 volts. So now what's happening here is that the utility, if for some reason it was rainy for a couple days and you needed to charge your batteries up, you can always plug these Growatts into utility, and it does not backfeed and cause a dangerous situation. It doesn't do that. So if you could use this all the time, like I say, so whenever you need your battery, and you could, so either utility, or if you have a power generator, a gas power generator, you could plug into utility also and charge your batteries with the with the utility. If you look at, oops. Okay, so we've unplugged the 1500 watt heater. So now so this is charging the batteries at 24 amps. Batteries are 69% charged, and now with the lithium iron phosphate battery, it doesn't matter. It's better not to have them fully charged. No more than 80% fully charged. So if for some reason this didn't get charged up today, if I'm going to unplug the utility, it does not hurt a lithium iron phosphate battery to be partially charged. It does not hurt it. And most of these batteries, you never want to charge them to 100% because you'll get a longer life out of your batteries if you charge them for 20% on the low end and 80% on the high end. If you do it that way, you'll get the most charges, cycles for the money. If you do it the other way, you might only get 2,000 cycles. So that's why the 2080 is a good combination. And my still charging at 23 amps. And all of my cells, 8 cells, are all pretty close and staying in balance. That's the purpose of the BMS. Keep all of the individual cells in balance with one another. Okay, I got the top clamps loose. Everything's loose here. All comes off. Okay, so we were able to put it on our mounting bracket. I think it's hanging a little out of plumb. Yeah, a little out of plumb. I think it will still perform perfectly. There's the hanger. It's in that nice hanger really well. So then I'll be able to put the battery underneath it and operate like that. I could put it on a wall, right on the wall of an ice house for ice fishing, and keep this two-wheel contraption out of the way. But it looks like that is going to work well. Okay, we're going to show how to move this Growatt. I made it portable so it could go on our two-wheel cart here. So the Growatt just sits on. I'm going to take these knobs off. Long-winded. Okay, and right now the battery's plugged in, so I just got to take off this Anderson connector and that battery's inside this beehive box. And this unit here, this plywood, is just on like a French cleat that's just hanging on the back of it, so it just hangs on the wall here. So we're going to put it on these all-thread rods. Are going to go through our little plates here. So I'm just going to lift up on this. I got a nice handle here for lifting. Just lift it up like that. Put your one foot on the hand truck so that it doesn't get away from us. And that just goes on there. I have my knob. Okay, then I have some little clamps, part of my split ring hangers that go on the back here. Need a couple hands here to do this. There we go. There's that mysterious hand that just showed up. Little screws and big paws. They don't match. Got it. Let me get my screwdriver. Snug one of these up here. And the split ring on the other side. Okay, that's all tightened onto the two-wheeler. And then our battery. Put on there. And our ratchet strap just goes around. And then our battery can get plugged right back in again. And here's our solar connectors. I can plug them in at a later date. And our utility plug. Plug it in the utility. And now I can just move this. Very mobile. I can take this any place that move around. So it works great. Portable solar generator system.